Welcome back, and we continue to watch what's happening in Ukraine this morning. Let's bring in Mike Eppel because this is having a massive impact on the world markets. Let's break it down, Mike. There are so many points here.
Certainly leading to a lot more volatility, Melanie. At the end of the day, however, we've seen the markets swing in huge trading ranges. They start low and then end higher, or the inverse. We've seen this on multiple occasions because this is a global event which is micro headline driven. Literally every headline that hits the business wires related to the latest development in Ukraine and what Russia's doing, it swings stock prices and bond trading and the global commodity markets. So it's just something else that the market was having to deal with, or is having to deal with right now, in a year where prior to all of this, just over a week ago now, we saw stocks under pressure because the big worry then was about rising interest rates and global inflation and how that was going to ripple through households and consumer spending. Well, this war now is actually adding to the inflationary pressures. So not only do you have a geopolitical crisis, you've got inflation, what it means for interest rates, how does it affect consumers locally and globally. And the markets, look at that and go, okay, I'm kind of moving to the sidelines here. A lot of investors have done that. You look at the NASDAQ, for example, year to date, it's down 11%. And the stock markets are on a 2-month losing streak as we're into the month of March and kind of this morning coming in like a bear by the looks of things in the early trade.
Oil imports going to be blocked at the federal level, so not coming in from Russia. But is this fairly symbolic? Because I think you have it's 2019 since this has last happened anyway.
Yeah. Russia is not a big supplier to Canada for oil. It's been since 2019 since we actually received any crude from that country. So it was part and parcel of all of the sanctions that were announced yesterday, primarily targeting Russia's banking system, but oil trade, which is still not part of the sanctions. We have to keep that in mind here, that Russia's been sideswiped by NATO, the U.S. and Canada on so many other levels other than energy, because the European Union is so dependent still on Russian oil and natural gas exports. That'll be the last hammer to drop as this conflict ratchets up. And they're already talking about sky-high prices for natural gas in the European Union. For example, people living in energy poverty. That's a phrase we're hearing now more and more about what's happening and this deepening crisis for consumers in the Eurozone. The price for oil right now is just shy of $100 per barrel, Melanie. It is continuing to climb here again on the perceived worry about global supply chain issues.
And the big credit card companies, Mike, Visa, MasterCard, what are they doing?
Cutting off a lot of transactions with Russian companies because the U.S. has basically banned U.S. companies from doing business with the Russian Central Bank, the Russian Ministry of Finance. And this was the talk earlier this week about, companies in Russia demanding payment up front in U.S. dollars because they were worried that the credit card companies were going to do exactly what it looks like they're doing this morning.
When it comes to what is being watched, what is being seen, so Facebook, YouTube, they're blocking access to Russian, state-controlled media as well. This is huge.
Now we're finally getting some action from the big social media companies on the spreading of disinformation. Who would have thought? But it is. Look, it's focused on the Eurozone right now. Our cable companies here have blocked RT, the state broadcaster of Russia. So they're trying to stop the spread of propaganda for all intents and purposes, and seeing a little bit of again, this is part of sanction efforts, and these companies have to comply with basically what they're being told to do now on the spreading of information.
Before we say goodbye, just a reminder, RSP deadline, contribution deadline today.
Yeah.
I know there's so much going on.
Thanks for reminding me.
I did it yesterday, just last minute.
Ironically, so did I. The point is, I suppose, about the RSP deadline, Melanie, is the fact that you should be putting in money on a monthly basis.
You should.
You don't have to worry. You don't have to worry. It's all about budgeting. It's all about pre-planning for that kind of for that. So you don't have to worry about that deadline. I'm such a procrastinator.
Yeah. Who's doing that though?
Gosh.
On a monthly. All right, Mike. We'll talk again tomorrow.
I think more people are into it now.
Maybe it's a good idea.
So.
Let's just say.
That's right.
Not for us. Okay. Talk to you tomorrow.